Hello, it's Karen Burniston here with an assembly video for one of our die sets. This is die number 1274, the piano keys pop-up, and you can check out all of our die designs at karenburniston.com. I think you are going to love the simplicity of this set. So 3 pieces included. There are the black keys, the white keys, and music notes. The assembled pop-up measures 3.5 inches wide, so it's going to fit in some small cards, but you can also extend it by just putting more than one. So in this case, there's 2 side by side. That's a 7-inch wide pop-up, perfect for a slimline card. The card I'll be making in the video is a 4¼ inch note card. I'm going to do it in a congratulatory theme. I'll be using a total of 5 products on this card. The 3 musical products from our newest collection, so Piano Keys Pop-Up, Music Charms, and our Music Sentiments clear stamps. To cut out the greetings, I'll use a decorative rectangle from our photo collage pop-up, and then for additional words, I'll use word set 17, congratulations. I like lightweight materials for the Piano Keys pop-up, so I have chosen a 65-pound white and black cardstock, and I'm going to cut the white keys die out of the white and the black keys die out of the black. You can use any die cutting machine that can accommodate a wafer-thin die. I am using my Spellbinders Platinum 6. Okay, so looking at the black keys on the side that was die cut into, that's going to be the easiest place to see the score lines. And I also think it's easiest to initially just fold towards yourself, even though every one of those folds is going to get reversed. So I just put my thumbnail down in there, find the fold, fold towards myself, and then immediately reverse it. Okay, then there's another score line. I'm going to do the exact same thing. So I'm going to put my thumbnail in it. I'm going to fold towards myself first, and then I'm going to immediately reverse all those folds. A really nice feature of this die set is how user-friendly it is. It is extremely easy on the assembly, all of the keys being on a single piece like that. Okay, switching to the white keys, there are 3 score lines in it. They are all going to fold away from me. Again, if it's easier to fold towards yourself first, feel free. A bone folder can be nice to get a nice crisp fold. Not strictly necessary, but I like to do it. And then the last one is the little tapered tab at the base. And again, I'm just going to work all of those folds as mountain folds away from me. All right, folding done on both pieces, and now it's time to connect those together. So let me make sure that I have them both oriented the same way. So the long rectangular tab on the white one is down, along with the long horizontal strip on the black one. The tapered tab is up at the top. All right, so now what I'm going to do is take one of the tabs at the end of the black key, and I'm going to hook one side in and then just wiggle the other side through. Now with these lightweight materials, it's super, super simple. If you had a heavier weight, you may have to bend the tab just a little bit to get it to go through the slot, but it's very simple. It's a quick and easy assembly on the Piano Keys pop-up. Okay, that locks those pieces together, so you do not need any glue for the tabs. Now I am going to use glue to connect now the long panel of the black to the long panel of the white, and they will line up just perfectly. So the easiest thing I think is just to put the glue on the white. I'm using LINECO neutral pH adhesive in my fine tip bottle. We sell both of those items on our website. And you will be able to flatten down the black keys such that that long strip is going to line up perfectly with the white one. So the edges line up, it goes end to end. And that is all there is to it. So it is now assembled and ready to go inside a card. And I mentioned that I'm going to be making a 4¼ inch square note card. So I started with a piece of cardstock, 4¼ by 8.5, scored in the middle for folding. And then to that, I added some 4-inch squares of a pattern paper that I found in my stash. All right, so what's going to happen is I'm going to attach this back section to the upper panel of the card, and then the tapered tab will attach to the lower panel of the card. So for adding the glue, I pretty much just stick to the black. So I'm going to put my adhesive along the horizontal, and then I'm going to go up the keys to the fold line. So nothing past the fold line on those keys. So that's the section that attaches to the upper panel of the card, the wall of the card, if you want to think about it that way. And what you want to do is you want to butt that up to the fold in the center. So it doesn't cross the fold, but it comes right to the fold. So don't go to the edge of the pattern paper if you've added pattern paper. Make sure that you bring that right to the fold of the card. Okay, now let's talk about the other side. So there's the tapered tab, that's the first fold, and then there's a second fold that makes the front section of the keys, and you want both sections forward. So the flat position is when you fold it on the second line, but it is only the tapered tab that gets the adhesive. So let me show that closer. So you've got 2 panels forward, the tapered tab has the adhesive, I'm going to hold that flat and then close the card against the exposed adhesive. When I open it that first time, I go slowly, and then what I like to do is push against this fold line right here to push it down to where I can get to that tapered tab and give it a really, really good press. And then I make sure everything is nice and attached. And that is all there is to it. I mean, that is just a simple, simple little pop-up. The other die in the set is the music notes. They're all on a single die to make it easy. And then I like a black mirror card for this. Now, if you didn't have black mirror card, you could get the same kind of look by just adding clear packaging tape to plain black cardstock and then die cutting through it. So 6 different styles of note on that single die. For an inside greeting, I'm going to mix stamps and dies. So our new Music Sentiments clear stamps for Turn Up the Volume. Those are high quality photopolymer stamps. They stamp really nicely. The decorative rectangle dies from our photo collage pop-up end up being the perfect size to cut out that stamp. And then I just used my trimmer to cut slightly larger rectangles for that Turn Up the Volume so that I could get a double mat on it. And then I added 3 music notes. Mine's going to be a congratulatory card, so I'm using our Word Set 17 Congratulations to cut out on your big day, and then I'm adding that to the bottom half of the card along with another one of those decorative rectangles from the photo collage pop-up, and then 3 more music notes. A great companion die for the Piano Keys pop-up would be our Music Charms set, and there is a grand piano charm in that set that includes some white keys and some black keys to make the keyboard for the grand piano. But you can also use those independently, or you can make a border out of them. So when you want to make a border, what I'm doing here is I'm going to snip off the widest white key on the left side, and then I'm going to glue that over the wide key on the right side, and then that's going to extend the white keys. And I can keep going that way as long as I want to. So just keep snipping off the wide key on the left, gluing it over the wide key on the right. For my card, 4 sets of white keys was enough to make a strip that would go across the front of the card. With the black keys, I'm going to trim off that thin border around the perimeter and just use the keys themselves plus the horizontal piece that keeps them together. And on this case, I had to cut 5 of them because I'm going to have to overlap a fair bit to be able to get it in the right order. In other words, it goes 2 keys, 3 keys, 2 keys. That's all on one. And then when I want to start again with 3 on the next one, then I'm going to lose the first set of 2 keys, if that makes sense. So I'll start out here on the left-hand side. That's a full set. So 2 keys, 3 keys, 2 keys. All I did is just trim off the little perimeter. Okay, but then now when I go to the next one, I have to overlap the set of 2 keys to get it to go in the right order. And I don't really want to overlap those sets of 2 keys, so what I'm going to do is just avoid that end with adhesive. So I'm only putting the adhesive behind the 3 key and the right 2 key, but I'm using the left 2 key to get the right placement. Okay, and then once I have that in place, then I can go in with my scissors and just snip off that excess that overlaps. And then a little dot of adhesive under that end. And now I've extended that keyboard through 2 of them. And now I just need to repeat that until I get the whole strip covered with the black keys. And then just to make it look a little better, I'm going to add a solid strip of the black mirror card along that top edge so that it doesn't have all of those stops and starts between the keys. My favorite way to make card fronts for my pop-up cards is just a simple lead-in to the magic inside. So I just take my leftover materials and kind of repeat elements. In this case, the same word set, this time the long word congratulations, which I chopped into 4 pieces so that I can stack them on top of each other, kind of as a nod to the way the Turn Up the Volume stamp is stacked that way. And then just a little note stamp, Again, kind of matted the same way as the turn up the volume on the inside, and then some of those leftover music notes. And now I just have to glue that to the front of my card. Now I did do a little bit of an obnoxious amount of matting on the front of that card because I liked all the colors and I wanted a little bit of each of them. So there's like 4 layers of squares on the front of the card. And so then it was kind of top heavy. So I ended up putting an extra piece of cardstock on the back just to balance the weight. The finished card measures 4 1/4 inch square. So that means it will mail in an A2 envelope. And the only reason my card might take that extra ounce stamp is because I put so many layers of mats on it. So if I didn't do that and then I used the lightweight materials on the piano keys, it would have gone for a single stamp, no problem. Now that width of 3 1/2 inches on the piano keys pop-up, I did that specifically so that it would also fit right on the front of the Lorna label pop-up, so you can combine those dies together. And we also have a new Just a Note Lorna label add-on, so when you combine all those pieces together, you can make a really cool musical card. Okay, so let's talk about how I made this card. The first thing I did is nest the largest decorator die inside the Lorna label pop-up die and cut those at the same time. Then I switched to the Just a Note Lorna add-ons and I cut the shadow piece out of black cardstock and used the stencil feature that's on the die to add the white stitch lines around the perimeter. Then I glued the 2 pieces together and worked all the folds in the pop-up. Now that set comes with a fun little envelope that you can glue below the note to say words, but I've got this musical card, so I'm going to use music notes out of the piano keys pop-up. Installing the Lorna label inside the card is going to be just like usual. You use the long fold that's in the middle of the box to line up over the fold of the card. And then I need to hold that in place so it cannot move while I add some strong adhesive to my 2 small tabs. So the small tabs that are on the side of the Lorna label, I like to attach those first. So I kick those under and attach them to the card, making sure that my pop-up hasn't moved and that the center fold in the box is right over the center fold of the card. Then I'm going to move up and do the upper tapered tab. So I put my adhesive all over that tapered tab. I keep everything nice and flat. I kick that under and attach it to the card. Now because I have a hollowed out Lorna label with that Just a Note to Say, that label itself is a little bit less strong than it normally would be. So rather than just attach the tapered tab in the flat position like I normally would, I'm going to change the assembly a little bit. I'm going to pull the sides of the Just a Note to Say up and push everything over and into the flat position, okay? And then I need to bring both panels down on the box. So the flat position on the box is where both panels are down, but it is only the tapered tab that gets the adhesive. So I'm going to find that flat position, going to add my adhesive all over the tapered tab, keep everything nice and flat, and close the card against the exposed adhesive. So I prefer that assembly method when I am using the Lorna add-ons, either the Just a Note to Say or the Happy Birthday. Okay, now I can get my piano keys put together. Once again, I chose those lightweight materials. So I've got lightweight white cardstock, lightweight black cardstock, and the first thing to do is just find the folds in both pieces. So on the white pieces, it's just 3 horizontal folds. They all fold away from me, and I like to use my bone folder to get a nice crisp fold. Then with the other piece, I like to look at the side where I can see the score lines the easiest. I put my thumbnail in the score lines and fold towards myself first. And then once I've found all of those folds, then I reverse them all because they should all be mountain folds, which means I'm folding away from myself. I just always find it easier to fold towards myself first. Then to connect those pieces together, I use the tabs and the slots. So the tabs, I just have to hook one side in and the other side will just wiggle right in. It's amazingly easy to do this tab system, so you're really going to like it, I think. And then once I've got all of those through, I can find the flat position, which is to bring the black keys forward until the horizontal piece in the back matches the white piece in the back. So it will go end to end and the edges will line up. So that completes the assembly of the piano keys pop-up, and now it is ready to install inside the card. So for this card, we're going to put it right on the front box of the Lorna label, but the installation is the same. So I need the adhesive on the back section. I'm just going to stick to the black keys. I'm going to go all the way through the horizontal section and then up to the fold line on each individual key. Okay, now that's coated with adhesive, and I basically want to put that in the flat position, just butt it right up to the bottom of the Lorna box, and then close the card against the exposed adhesive, and then it'll pick it up attached to the front of that box. Now on the flat position, I need 2 panels forward, so I've got to make sure I'm folding on the second fold line, and then it is the tapered tab that gets the adhesive. So 2 panels forward, the tapered tab gets the adhesive. And then now what I want to do is get this down into that flat position and then just close the card against the exposed adhesive. So it's the same assembly, you've just moved the card fold out to the front box of the Lorna label. The first time I open it, I like to press down on that tapered tab really well and make sure that it's adhered to the card. So just a fun, but of course completely optional coordination between die sets, the Lorna label pop-up and the piano keys pop-up. If you add items to the vertical faces of the keys, then those items will pop up as well. So you can definitely explore adding some music notes, or really even just using that piano keys pop-up more generically. It could just be a double-decker floating floor, and you could use it to animate anything. So to finish out the interior of my card, I use the fishtail banner and the oval that are included in the Lorna label pop-up. I cut out that You Rock stamp from those Music Sentiments clear stamps. I die cut and stenciled another Just a Note to Say shadow piece, and this time I'm not going to use it for Just a Note to Say. I really just want that perimeter, cool, thin frame. So I'm going to add my glue all over the words, and then I'm going to take the stitched Lorna label that fell out of the one that I cut for the inside and glue that over the top. And then I'm just going to create a card front using those music charms and the Hello and Hello shadow that came out of the Just a Note set, plus a fishtail banner from the Lorna label. So just all of the pieces and parts from the die sets that I've been using. If you need a little help with assembling that grand piano, there is a full assembly video on the Music Charms die set. So I will link that in the description box below as well as at the end of this video. The sizing on this card is the same as the first one. It's 4 1/4 inch square. Now the musical pattern paper, I'm sure that's ancient because I have so much pattern paper here that I just kind of go stash diving when I need something for a video. So piano keys, that's a specific pop-up, and yet it has a generic air to it because everybody loves music and you're just sending a note of encouragement, just a note to say you rock. So it doesn't have to be sent to only musicians. 2 piano key pop-ups side by side goes great in a slimline card. That would be a 7-inch wide pop-up. You could use a 5x7 top fold card and still fit 2. When you're doing a single, a top fold A2 size card works great as well, either just for the piano keys or the piano keys combined with the Lorna label pop-up. So either way will fit nicely in an A2 top fold card. I love to end assembly videos with some inspiration from our very talented design team. Here's a lovely Christmas card by Sandy Diller where she combined the Lorna label pop-up along with the piano keys pop-up. Jen Webster with a lovely Happy Birthday Slimline card, 2 of the piano keys pop-ups inside along with those music charms and the clear stamps. This one will go together really quickly. Just a note to say happy birthday with a piano keys inside, mini slimline by Sandy Diller. I love this card by Suzanne Smith, just a note to say happy birthday. I like that she changed the colors of the piano, plus she's used it as a floating floor to add cupcakes and a cute little bunny rabbit. Suzanne actually made a whole series of cards like this, combining the piano keys pop-up with some of our animal dies. I love this one, the giraffes with the cherries as music notes. Then she has foxes with those music charms and the piano keys for a party card. And then raccoons and flower pots. I mean, adorable. A fun Easter egg that Lois has been doing on a lot of her cards is using the music charms to actually arrange the notes to play a tune. So in this case, the Star Spangled Banner. Lois also made a couple of slimline Christmas cards. I love the choice of the colors on the piano keys. This doubled slimline card by Nikki Foden features brightly colored notes and pink piano keys. I love it. Sandy Diller added 2 piano keys pop-up to the bottom of our little labels pop-up. So that's another way that you can make 2 pop-up dies work together. You could also try our explosion pop-up. So that is what Sue Small Kreider did on this card. I absolutely love how she personified the music charms with little googly eyes and arms and even a microphone. Bright fun colors on this birthday card by Frances Byrne, combining the Lorna and the piano keys pop-up. Ken Shan is such an out-of-the-box thinker with the piano keys pop-up, so he's lit it up. He's used different mechanism to animate it. He's created a double slide-out box, and he's added the piano keys into a clear box with some music notes confetti. So really, really fun ideas from Ken. And then one more idea from Suzanne Smith. I like the inversion of the traditional colors on the keyboard. The piano keys pop-up is available now at a lot of your favorite local and online retailers, as well as from our website, KarenBurniston.com. Thanks for watching. If you click on the website link, you'll go to KarenBurniston.com, where you can purchase these dies as well as find links to our other social media accounts. You can subscribe to this YouTube channel and check out some of my other videos. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.